Good morning and welcome to the 9th edition of the Cable Connect. Got a very exciting guest with us today, championship coach, USA coach, Coach Jose Vazquez, and coach of the Hornets. Let me add that, championship coach as well. And so, Coach, so glad to have you. Been wanting to get you on, but we kind of started this thing during your season, and we know you were focused and zeroed in on the SWAC championship. Phenomenal season this year. Came up short of the championship. But it's so dynamic to win in the sport of baseball.
It's a tough game. That's why every win is so precious. We made a run. We play, as you say, one of the most competitive schedules in the nation. And obviously, we get into the plateau of 30 wins as a Division I program. It's always a goal to reach. And just fell a little short in the conference tournament. Just didn't make some plays what we needed to. Ran into a very hot team, the opposing team. But we're very proud of the guys. We still had, I thought we showed what our program is continuing to do and how competitive we are. And, just getting ready for next year.
Right. And so when you talk about the program, I think of consistency.
Thank you.
You're over 70% in terms of conference wins in your career here as a head coach. And the players that we were able to attract to the program over the years, the transfer portal has kind of impacted us a little bit. Talk about Juan Cruz, Jamal George, and those are just top of the mind. But of course, there are many, many more. Talk about that process of getting so many talented players. Juan Cruz this year led the nation in hits for the regular season. And so seeing him over 2 years, develop to be a pretty good player, right?
Oh, he did an excellent job. The process, I got to start with what I think and not that it gets overseen, but is the support that we have from the administration. Because in order to be competitive, in order to be consistent, there's some things that got to fall into place. We feel pretty confident on what we can do as coaching the players, developing the players, but getting them here is obviously a key, a part of the process. And how do we do that? We have the facilities, we have the scholarships, we have the budget to travel good, to stay in good places. All of that factors into when you're trying to recruit that player and obviously put a picture of what it's going to look like, prior to them getting here. When they get here, how they're going to be treated first class, how the way we travel, how way we dress, our uniforms, our practice attire, everything that we have to offer, our facilities, it goes, in my opinion, it goes back to the support that we have all the way from the top. Obviously, you as a leader of the coaches, and Dr. Ross, doing an excellent job leading the university. So once we have that and we have those things, obviously we identify a lot of talent. There's a lot of players that want to be a part of our program. So now I think we're in the process of we are able to pick and choose now who can really do it for us. And we've been able to everywhere. If you look at our roster, we have players from all over the country. We got California guys. We have Georgia is big for us, Florida, we have kids from Puerto Rico, we have Texas, Indiana, so we definitely go where we need to go and able to put a competitive team year in and year out. And we're very proud of that. It's not easy, as I mentioned. It's not easy to be competitive with the schedule that we play, but we feel every year we feel really good. And we have one thing that we have done is we feel very confident about developing the players. Some of those guys that you mentioned that had gone in the transfer portal, exploring maybe to go to a Power 4 or something like that, are guys that came to us and we helped them develop, and they have become the players that they are, and obviously getting a lot of attention now from Team USA and other places into where they're venturing right now and trying to see if they can put a good season together over there.
Right. And then your staff, consistent in terms of a little turnover, but not much turnover.
Well, once again, we have everything that we can that we have for the staff, and that's part of the thing. Our community, obviously Montgomery is one of the things that I knew as soon as we came in 13 years ago, believe it or not, is how much people love baseball in Montgomery, and that's one thing that you see during our games. You see the family atmosphere that we have from the people in the community, and they enjoy just coming and watching a baseball game. So The families of my staff, they love it here. It's why not? It's a great place, to raise a family, and we are in a good situation.
Yeah, you talk about the game day atmosphere. The deck behind right field is pumping.
Well, man, that was an idea that we came along and we had the space and a vision that we had, and we made it happen. And it's been, I call it a blessing, because it gets people together, families go in there, people that support Alabama State, and they can, a lot of times after a hard day at work, they're able to go there and just put some stuff, eat something and just relax and watch the game and enjoy the beautiful, afternoon, or maybe a Sunday afternoon under the sun. But it's just, I'm very happy. Hopefully we can expand it a little more and get more, more maybe the student involvement and rent it out and get some people to continue to come to the games and make a walkway, boardwalk, as I like to call it. I think that would be awesome if we can do that.
Yeah, I think that was a public ploy to me and all the supporters of the baseball program to come out, enjoy the atmosphere, and see how we can expand and increase the experience. But we'll be right back after a commercial break and talk about a 56-game Division I schedule.
Alabama State University, the place where history is made. With over 60 accredited degree programs and 18 intercollegiate athletic programs, we've focused on student success for more than 150 years. Our rich legacy is built by the history makers of today, shaping the leaders of tomorrow. Alabama State University, where your future begins and history continues to be made.
We're back here with Coach Vazquez. Wanted to talk a little bit about your scheduling philosophy. 56 Division I games normally from year to year. That's a very tough schedule. We see other programs that may not play as many. What's your scheduling philosophy and why?
Well, you want to, in order to maintain what I would consider our reputation, what I would consider the respect that we have, not only in the Southeast, but nationally, you have to put your program in a test with everybody that you can. And I think our program very clearly year in and year out shows that we're not afraid, that we feel that we can compete against anybody. You're talking about, we played 5 SEC opponents last year. That's not including the Troys, the South Alabama, the Georgia State, obviously Sun Belt, arguably one of the top 5 baseball conferences in the country. And then you include, other teams that come from our north, Southern Indiana that came in, had a really good baseball team, Western Illinois, and obviously our conference games, which is now up to 30 games, and everybody has done a great job, improving their programs. That's one thing that I am very proud of, every coach really in our conference, just doing a good job, and everybody has gotten better. So we're very proud of playing a tough schedule. It's very stressful. Obviously, we feel that we can win every game. We just don't play those games just to play them. And the philosophy is gonna, playing good baseball, it hopefully try to keep you on a consistent basis and playing consistent baseball, and it gets you ready to not only for the conference tournament, but if you have the ability to win the conference tournament, to play in the NCAA regional, which you're going to see that, caliber of pitching really and baseball in general. So that's the purpose of it. I think we're going to continue to do it like that. We're not going to, shy away from anybody. I think once again, we have had schools that know that we're going to be competitive and we can, beat anybody, and they continue to support the home game. We got Troy coming to us. We have, I think this next year coming up, we have Alabama also coming to us again, working on getting some other programs that we can do home, and being so centrally, our location is so awesome that we have a lot of schools in the 3-hour radius, Division I, that are very good programs that we can play. So, everything kind of, adds up, and that's how we go about it when it comes to the schedule.
Right, and we're very competitive. And so before we get into conference play, we have a number of Division I wins.
Yes.
what helps in the national ranking and in overall conference ranking, because we're going out being competitive.
True, very true. And we do, like I said, getting to 30 wins, and this is just a comment, but getting 30 wins plus, which all the wins are Division I wins.
Right.
I think that says a lot about where we're at. We, not that I keep track, but I do know that we have done it in the 9 years that I've been a head coach. We've done it 8 years out of the 9 years.
Coach, it seems like you're keeping track.
I do keep track. It's important to me. It's important to me because I think, once again, it shows that you're being a consistent program. And the year that we didn't get 30, we won 29.
Right.
So, I mean, we were just, one game away from just having a streak. And that's the plan every year. The plan is obviously to not only be competitive, but to win 30 games, to win a championship, to compete put ourselves in a situation where hopefully one of the top 64 teams in the nation by going to a regional, and hopefully competing at that point. Anything can happen. You've seen it. And baseball is just it's a different animal. Anything can happen in our sport.
Yeah. It's baseball.
It's baseball.
Yeah.
Very true.
So talk a little bit about your USA experience. I know went as assistant coach, then came back and was able to have the head coaching role. I was able to visit you last summer and see you coach those guys. And so I see the smile on your face. Sir. It was a great experience, even as a spectator. Just seeing the facilities, the professionalism, and just the standard that USA Baseball has, and then the way that you manage the team, you manage your assistant coaches, was all at a very high level. And so just talk about those experiences and what you took from them and brought back.
That one is very hard for me to explain. I take that it was such an honor to do it. And unless you, as a head coach, has the opportunity to be there, and I was, number one, very appreciative that you were able to go and see for yourself how things, go over there. USA Baseball is the ultimate, right? So if you have an opportunity in your life as an athlete, you, number one, want to compete, and represent your country, right? And I had the opportunity to do it and lead the young men to represent our country. So I'm extremely proud of that accomplishment. But the way that they do things, how professional, first class, everything, attention to detail, and just to be in charge, of for those 2 weeks of not only managing, the team, but having a first class staff and dealing directly with Eric Campbell, which has been awesome to me, the general manager for the collegiate national teams, and everybody that's involved in USA Baseball. It's hard. It's something that I will definitely cherish for the rest of my life. I hope that I can do it again, and at some point. But it's one thing that I'm really the most proud of is to be able to do it out of Alabama State. I'm the first collegiate national team manager out of an HBCU. I'm an HBCU alum. How much that means to me, and to be able to go and do it, representing the HBCUs, not only Alabama State but all of us. As a unit, I think to me is something, like I said, I'll never forget, and I can always definitely be able to talk about it to not only my players, but everybody that I get in touch with that, recognize how important it is and how difficult it is, right. To be able to be in that position. So it's been a lot of work. Now doing it in college baseball for 23 years, now I'm getting to that and to where it's been really a career, doing it and this business, but I love it. It keeps me young and dealing with adapting to all the changes that is happening, and but being in charge of those 26 guys, having a memorable summer. We're actually 8-0 for the summer. That's the second team that has done it and from what I understand, in the last 15, 20 years, the only team that has been undefeated, the collegiate level, whether it's playing Stars and Stripes or playing an opponent, friendly series against Chinese Taipei, which is who we played. Once again, we're in the books right there, and that it's just good, good feeling and something that I'm very proud of. My family, I know, is very proud of me for doing that.
Absolutely. And so if you can just describe one moment from USA Baseball and one moment from your 13 years as the head coach of Alabama State University. What are two moments, one each? What are those two moments, and what do they mean to you?
I would say the moment of being introduced as the manager for USA Baseball and being the first guy and just waiting for everybody to be introduced and listening to the national anthem, and just kind of surreal. It puts you in a situation that it's hard to believe, but then you kind of, pinch yourself and it's like, hey, I'm really doing this, it's really me. And you kind of look back at your career and every step that you have taken into what it feels, at least, the ultimate, So that's a big moment when it came to USA Baseball and my family being there to live that with me. When it comes to ASU, obviously we've done a lot of good things, but the championship in 22, when we, I've been fortunate enough in my career that I've been to 10 NCAA regionals. But the moment that makes it special is when you see the guys that they go to battle for you and for the university, and when you see them accomplish something that they really set out to do. And when we were able to win that championship, especially in what I would consider a classic baseball game, 14 innings, we're not the home team, we had to take the lead, then tie it up. We had to take the lead again, finally close it out on a double play. I mean, it was just, talking about stressful, my goodness. But, to be able to close it out and once again and make those memories, because that's what it's all about. You're making the memories that they will be able to tell, their kids at some point. And now with everything being recorded and being, I still go back and watch that game on YouTube. They have the highlights and it's 15 minutes. I don't know if you've seen it, 15 minutes and you're watching the game and I'm like, man, what a great game. What a classic. That should be on the one of those classic videos. But that moment in my professional career, I think it kind of stands out right now. And I just hope that we can do that again.
I'm sure that we will, Coach.
Yes, sir.
So, got 3 more questions for you outside of baseball. Favorite food?
I enjoy, I'm a rice and beans type of guy. Rice and beans with what we call cube steak. We call it beef steak. That's my favorite food. Once in a while I'll do it. I can't eat it all the time, but once in a while I'll just crave it. And when I do, I just, it's not a little bit that I eat. It's, I eat until I can't eat anymore. So, yeah, that's my favorite food.
Song you listen to on the way to the ballpark?
Christian music. I like, I have a playlist of Christian music, depends on what I'm feeling that day, but just a couple of songs, couple of artists that I like just to kind of get, some positive mindset, prior to coming to work. And sometimes, just quiet, really just a quiet ride. Maybe talk to my mom on the way to work and make sure she's doing okay. Talk to my dad, and have a conversation with some family members. But music, I like that calm, passive type of music.
Favorite Major League Baseball player of all time?
Mike Piazza.
Okay.
I was a Mike Piazza fan. I actually got a sweatshirt that I still have that is Piazza, and then it says home security. He played for my favorite team, which is the New York Mets at one point, and make some plays and some at-bats that some more memorable. I don't know. I mean, he wasn't great defensively, but offensively he was really that good. And I just enjoy watching him and the whole story of him being a 63rd round draft pick. Basically, that doesn't happen anymore. There's not even 63 rounds, but somebody gave him a chance, climbed the ladder, made himself into into the player that he was. So Mike Piazza was my favorite player.
And it helps that he's a catcher, right?
Absolutely. He was good enough just to stay behind the player and just, nobody complained. I read something once. I said, people complain when he can't throw anybody out, but nobody complains when he driving 4 runs a game for you to win the game, because he can flat out swing it. So yeah, he was my favorite player.
Coach Vazquez, he was a hell of a catcher in his day as well. And so we thank you for your time. Great interview. Looking forward to a great season for the Hornets.
Well, thank you for everything that you do for us and for being the leader of this program. Believe me, it doesn't go unnoticed. You're doing a great job. So I'm proud to work for you.
Thank you.